No one in the history of anyone has had the impact that Jesus of Nazareth has had in literature, art, music, education, science, and world religions. So just to give you an example of this, the sciences alone, people think that this is somehow antithetical to having a Christian view, that you can't be a scientist to be a Christian, but it turns out the history of science up to the modern day is replete with Christians who have been innovators in the sciences and are now the fathers of more scientific disciplines in modern science than any other group combined. If all you had was the personal writings of the science fathers, you could actually learn more about Jesus than you can from the personal writings of the church fathers. That's the impact that Jesus followers have had on the sciences. There isn't anyone who's been written about as much as Jesus. You can go to the Library of Congress, you can go to Google Books. There isn't anyone who's been sung about more than Jesus. I did a database search of all the pop artists in secular music internationally. There's no one's been sung about more than Jesus. There's no one who's affected the history of art, every genre, every ism, from Impressionism, Expressionism, Dadaism, Popism, whatever ism you're looking at. The top three masters have all imaged, sculpted, painted, etched Jesus of Nazareth. This can't be said of anyone else. Every world religion hat tips Jesus. He's on the pages of the Quran, on the pages of Baha'u'llah's sacred writings, on the pages of Ahmadi Muslims, he's on the leaders of Buddhism, Hinduism, Krishna, New Age. Everyone loves Jesus. But Jesus says, no, actually, I'm glad, I appreciate that, but I'm the only way. That's an amazing truth. You can reconstruct the story of Jesus from the scripture of non-Christian religious worldviews. This can't be said for Buddha. This can't be said for anybody else. It can only be said of Jesus. That's the impact. And because there's no other fictional character, and there's no other living human who's ever had this impact, the third option, that he's just the God of the universe who enters back into his creation and has this kind of expected result, seems to me to be the most reasonable inference.